This is part 2. I'm Jilliana Ranicar-Breese, and we're still in the pond after a delicious, very unusual sandwich in a soggy bun, but it was actually quite delicious. And I've asked Leo how he got involved. Well, it was like the first step of his journey. He got into yoga. Now tell me, how did you manage to get into yoga?
4 sleepless nights.
Oh!
Mega stress, anxiety,
Right.
with the factory that I was responsible for and running. I had 4 sleepless nights. I would add, lost my driving license through a series of mishaps, which again is practical stress in action.
Right.
And
You just
I
knew
lived
you
on the
wanted
edge.
out.
I lived on the outskirts of Birkenhead, no buses around.
Ooh.
I got myself a bicycle. What could I go to that was reasonably nearby? And there was a yoga class. I
Okay.
could cycle to it.
Okay.
So 4 sleepless nights.
Was that Hatha yoga?
Yes. And I went to this yoga class. Very good Hatha yoga. As I subsequently now know, it was very good Hatha yoga, lovely teacher. And I fell asleep on the hard floor.
Oh my God!
And I thought, wow. And from that,
You were so zonked out.
yeah. But I mean, the yoga put me in a place where I could sleep on a hard floor, not even a bed.
You went into a trance.
In effect,
An altered state.
And I felt it was so beneficial. One thing another happened, and I got introduced to the teacher of that school of yoga, Ken Ratcliffe, who lived in outer Liverpool somewhere. And he had philosophy inclined groups every Wednesday, open house. And
In Liverpool?
In Liverpool.
Uh-huh.
And I went for some time and imbibed a whole lot of sense. It felt like the first time in my life I'm actually hearing somebody describe the world that makes sense.
And so the first time that you probably met intellectuals, thinkers and intelligent people.
Well, intelligent people who were working to understand the universe.
Right,
yes.
right.
I mean, intellectual theorists on all sorts of things I'd met, but actually people understanding. I mean, he was the first person, Ken, who introduced me to ways of seeing the world that made sense deep within.
Right. Is he still alive?
No.
Right. So that influenced you tremendously. What was your next step?
Well, the next step actually was that life at the factory got so busy, I dedicated myself fully to that and so on. And with a view to when things got sorted out, because this was the early 70s.
Right.
And
right.
not just business life, but government life, etc., was very, very difficult. We had the 3-day week, a piece of insanity.
You were 38 at the time, I believe.
Ish. 36, 37,
And you
38.
are 82 now.
Yeah, so it's a long time ago.
Yes.
And so, for some years I had to dedicate myself to the factory to get the place straightened out.
Of course.
But in the process of that, an incident happened, which was I was standing in the factory on a Saturday morning, helping to prepare production for the Monday, so it was any snags were sorted out beforehand, when there was a loud bang, and some of the roof started falling in right in front of my face. A whole pile of roof fell in on some machines where people were working.
Yeah.
It turned out a young lad had driven a forklift truck into a roof stanchion. One roof stanchion had collapsed, and that led the next and the next and the next.
Like a pack of cards.
Like a pack of cards. By a miracle, nobody was injured.
Right, and you said
even
to
the machines,
yourself, I'm getting out.
I said, that's it.
Yeah.
And
It takes courage to give up a job when you haven't got another one. I know, I speak from experience.
Sure. But I didn't give it up right away.
No, 2 years.
I worked for 2 years to get the place into good order,
Yeah.
where it could be taken over. and I could retire out of it.
Right, but had you any
honourably.
idea what you were going to do?
None at all.
To pay the rent, so to speak?
No.
Right, and where were you living?
I was living on the outskirts of Birkenhead in a small cottage that I
cottage.
purchased, yes.
Okay, right.
That had once been a stable.
That sounds nice. So, Leo, then what happened? You went to the yoga class and...
Well, after this, some years after this,
Yes.
when I did come out of the factory,
Yes.
and I went to London and got involved in the human potential movement in London.
Right.
Different workshops and so on, trying to understand a bit more of life.
What does that mean, human potential?
Human potential, alternative, new age-ish.
Yes. And that's where I met you, at St James's Church. Alternatives.
Yes, right,
Yeah.
St James's.
I did, yes. I was sitting next to you. So, after that, you went to Findhorn?
Yes, about...
In Scotland?
Yes, about a year and a half after I started with workshops and so on, I went to Findhorn, and I met a woman from San Francisco. We became friends.
How long did you live there? Because Findhorn was a community,
It was
or
a community.
it still exists.
Oh, never more than 3 weeks.
Oh, I see. So you didn't...
No, I didn't move there. It was
Okay.
temporary.
And what was the workshop you were doing?
I don't remember.
Or you did lots?
At Findhorn, I don't remember what I did.
You don't?
No.
Ooh, okay.
It's a long time ago. But, I mean, I was participating. I wasn't a workshop leader.
No. Anyway, you met this lady.
I met Stephanie,
Stephanie.
and she said, come to San Francisco and stay with me in the summer.
And you did.
And I did.
And we'll talk about what happened in San Francisco in part 3. Bye.